Hello, Tamily. It is time for the last interview of 2020. Congratulations, everyone, for making it to this day. This is actually interview number 127, and our guest for today is going to be Kat. Her Instagram name is Kat Fufu. I'm sure you all know already. But of course, if you're not following her, do that. And we do have many questions planned for her, but we will also take questions from the chat. So type in your questions anytime, anything that you want to ask Kat, and we will make sure to scroll through and get every question for her. So we're just waiting for her to connect. In the meantime, you can type your questions in. Also, don't forget that today is Courtney's birthday, so tell Courtney happy birthday after this interview, of course. And there's Kat. So we're just getting connected. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for being our last interview of 2020, Kat. We're so excited to talk to you.
And I'm so excited to speak with you. And I just want to tell you, Suzanne, that you and Nicole do such amazing work getting us all together, spreading so much joy. And I have to say, like, throughout this year, keeping it going, you guys are amazing. So I just want to give you a quick round of applause, if that's not too cheesy.
Thank you so much, Kat. We love doing this. Obviously, it's a little bit of work that we've done an interview every week for 2.5 years or some crazy thing, but it's so much fun.
Insane. You guys are amazing, and it does not go unnoticed and unappreciated, and I just wanted to say thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's really all about you because we want to know about your Tracy Anderson method journey. So we'll start with some of our questions, and we'll also take questions in the chat.
Okay.
But the first one we want to ask you is, why did you choose the Tracy Anderson method over any other fitness method?
Well, I have to be honest. Like, the very first time I was seeing the women on Instagram and Tracy herself, the choice was pure vanity. I mean, she looks amazing. The women who do Tracy look amazing. So I was obviously thinking about that. But it has transformed. The reason why I do it now is about clarity. So definitely when I started, it was about, getting an aesthetic, being in the best shape. But now it has more to do with that physical, mental connection that she talks about all the time. But it took me a while to grow into that. So when I first started, I was actually pregnant. So I started with her pregnancy program. And then I just kept evolving into Metamorphosis and then the streaming and then as a studio member. So, I mean, a lot of growth process happened through all of that. And we'll probably get into that. But I think I start Tracy like for the same reason everybody else do. They want to look like good. You know what I mean? They want results, and she will definitely deliver on those results, but she'll also deliver so much more, which I think is important.
Yeah, I think it's a difference between why you come to the method and then why you stay with the method. Definitely.
For sure.
Can you tell us about your experience with having workouts in the studio with trainers and also doing custom workouts with trainers virtually?
So let me just tell you, the studio is completely different on so many levels. It is so different. When you walk into that studio room, you are hitting a wall of heat and humidity. You cannot, I know a lot of you have your heat and humidity set up. I have both. You cannot recreate it. It is not the same. Tracy knows the exact temperature of the studio when she walks in. She knows the exact humidity. I've seen her stop a class to switch the humidity because she knows it to that degree. I would say the biggest difference is all of the critiques that you get while you are either in class, because sometimes there's a spotter walking around the room, or for your virtual customs, just all of the like fine tuning that they do while you're in the class. So for not this current custom, but the custom I had last cycle, literally I had to do the class without music because there were so many call outs and critiques and corrections that they needed to make. So it's a gift because you're obviously learning the nuances of the method, but it's so much harder. And a lot of mental strength and endurance to get through all of that, because the trainers sometimes in the studio aren't nice. Like they'll be like, no, like left, like, you know, arabesque left, or, you know, straight back, like other leg. And, you know, it's really that focus that gets you into the zone. I don't know if anybody has done like sports or has a coach, but they're very much in that space. But it's very difficult. And I'll just go into like what a custom is, because I think I kind of glossed over that. But when you have a custom designed for you, the head trainer of your studio will basically look at your efforts. They'll ask other trainers, like, what does she need to improve on? What do you need to work on? They'll ask you, and they'll design a complete program or a class that's an hour long that includes arms, muscular structure, legs, and you have to go through it 10 times. 10 times. Like, you can't cheat. Like, you can't say, I hate this program, like it's too hard. No, you've got to do it 10 times. It'll involve a box, like a Pilates box or a pole or a chair or a bunch of different apparatuses and things, but it is super hard and it's super great. But I want to say, as online streamers, you're not missing anything. I think that's one important thing to know. If you're truly dedicated, you're not missing anything by not having a custom. It's just a way for us in the studio to continue sort of down the path that we're on, if that makes sense. For instance, with me, my abs are still, my core is like still non-existent. And I know you guys are like, what? I've seen pictures of you. You look great. But my core is so weak. Like, I still struggle whenever we do any type of plank thing. Like, I still feel like weak right here. So there's a lot of things that we all have to work on. And I think with the custom, that's one of the things that helps you to, you know, improve within the method.
Well, and one thing I learned from you about that is you do the custom 10 times, but you also do the streaming workout. Like, you just do the custom a couple times a week until you get through it 10 times, right?
Yes, yes. So Tracy and her last chat, and you guys can chime in too, or Suzanne, you can chime in too, if I'm not mistaken. She said something about like when you get to like advanced, it's okay to flow between attain, fundamental, the super live classes, and probably your virtual customs, because like it's okay to not just stay in a dedicated lane at that point.
Right.
And I think that that is important. Like, I always do fundamental every week. Like, I don't just say, I'm only doing attain because I'm attain, and or I'm only doing fundamental. Like, I definitely go back and forth between the two lanes. And I think that's important too, because fundamental will question your precision, and it goes really slow. It's really precise. There are nuances to it again. So I have to like gut check myself every week by doing it.
So what is your normal routine around your workout? Like, you do the custom 2 times a week, attain?
I will do attain the day it comes out, like every week, because it's like a Christmas present, and you want to, what did Tracy design? Is she got a chair in there? Are you flips on your head? Like, are you a split? Are you like, what has she got up her sleeve this week? So I'm like everybody else, like Thursday is my holiday. And then I will usually do my custom twice a week. So that is with a trainer. I usually get really nervous about doing my customs. I'm not going to lie, because they're super, super hard. And in my custom, it's written no stops, go, no stops, no water break, agility, hardcore cardio in the beginning. And each trainer is like, "Ugh, I have you," like, because in there it's written like for everyone. It could be add some flexibility or add some like, you know, like extra arms because they want to work on that.
Okay.
It's like get this girl's endurance up to the point where she's at death's door by the time you're finished with her. I don't know. Maybe they hate me. Who knows? But and then I usually do fundamental, and I'm trying to work through the 12 days of cardio because
Okay.
I think that's a good way to learn like the new dances. I am not good with the dance. Like they are my nemesis. I see everyone out there doing the dances, knowing all the steps, like front, back, forward, like all this. And I'm like, nope, like I can't get it. And I will be honest with you guys, like part of the reason why I think I'm bad at dance is because in the studio, the members are typically people who have been members for so long and they have every dance memorized. And if you don't know the dances, you have to stand in the back and you can't see the trainer. Like it's like you have to be in the back. So it's a little intimidating to try and like fumble your way through a dance in the studio while you see everyone just kind of getting it. But now that I've been at home for so long, like the studios have been closed, I am so glad that Tracy has put up the 12-day cardio because I feel like I'm learning like the nuances. So
Yeah.
I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, that is definitely a little gift from her.
Hi, Courtney.
Happy birthday, Courtney.
Happy birthday, Courtney. How are your plants doing, boo?
So Kat, have you ever met Tracy?
Have I met Tracy? Yes, I've met Tracy several times. So there's this thing, like Tracy got into this groove of teaching her like streamed classes 9:30 at Tribeca Studio. She was like in this groove. And it would either be Courtney cueing her or Lashana cueing her. And let me tell you, it was a duke it out who was getting in that class. Like you had to that class like 6 weeks in advance or you were in. So yes, I've met Tracy and I want to just set the stage. Okay. So Tracy starts her class and she kind of does this thing usually where she doesn't talk to anyone. She kind of just walks in the room, like takes off her sweater. Maybe she doesn't take it off. And then she looks over, I think it's usually May, and just like gives a nod and the music starts. So she's like total poker face, like coming in class. Like the energy in the room is like crazy. People are kind of, you can tell people are like nervous and anxious to like get the class started, but she comes in like a performer, you know, and so does Courtney, so does Lashana, so do all the other trainers. Like they come in with their game face. You could be sit there chit-chatting, doing whatever, and they'll actually turn around, give you a look and be like, class is starting. Like, get so yes, I've met her several times. And then after the class, it's like a total difference. Like they're so sweet and they're so nice and they're asking you questions about how you like the class, and everyone's like, you know, asking Tracy a bunch of questions, you know, and it's really odd at first being in the same room with her because she's so small. Like, she's like so tiny and she has such big energy. So it's, to me, she still has a very much high intimidation factor because to be able to do what she does at the level that she does, at the consistency that she does, to me, I like applaud her for it. Just like I applauded you, like to keep doing this for everybody week after week is a lot, you know? So definitely you get chills when the class starts a little bit. Like, it's really cool. So if anybody has the opportunity to take class with her, please do. It's amazing.
Have you been to a Vitality Week as well, or just to the studio classes?
I've never done a Vitality Week. I actually was thinking of doing one, not this year, next year when my son's a bit older, but obviously now with COVID, you know, who knows what's going to happen. I think I've never done a Vitality Week, but I do feel like the 2 hour long sessions, they're probably not close to, I think Vitality are even longer in terms of how long they do the classes, but those 2 hour sessions are great. I mean, you are really getting your ass kicked. If you can work for 2 hours straight with all the props, the arms in the beginning, like it is good, you know? And I think we're just in a moment now where it's okay if we can't be at a gym. Like we still need to have the mindset virtually, like to be able to get together, communicate with one another. So hopefully, you know, that'll happen one day down the road. You know, hopefully the studio will go back to the way it was. But actually, I'm not complaining right now. I actually feel like I've mentally gotten stronger because of my routine every single day. So I'm not saying I'm happy for COVID. Don't get like, not at all. But I definitely have felt that this has been a test for me to see whether I can continue with a solid routine and not have like the studio, you know what I mean? So honestly, when I look at the streamers, like you guys are really up here. There's so many people I take inspiration from that are dedicated every day. And, you know, remembering that from when I was a streamer has been so like important. So for sure.
So how do you personally stay motivated to work out so consistently?
So it was easier in the beginning. So I think in the beginning, you have a goal. Like, you're like, I'm at fundamental, I want to attain. Or like, I can do half of fundamental, I want to be able to do all of fundamental. Or I want to be able to do all of the 2 hours. So there was actually a point where I was just like, well, I need a goal. I need a goal. Like, what is my goal? And so right now I said, Kat, what are you talking about? You're not a trainer. Like, you still suck at so many things, like patience and consistency. So I stay motivated because I know that I still have so far to go. Like, I look at people who have been doing this for 5 years, for 10 years, 12 years, 13 years. That's my goal. Like, can I completely be devoted to doing this, obsessed, in the same way that I'm handling it now? You know, I think it's in the beginning, it's actually, to me personally, you know, like, all right, I'm starting this new method. It's exciting, it's fresh, it's shiny, but like every day, one foot in front of the other, like that's the hard thing. So my goal right now is just consistency. Can I stay consistent with my workout? Can I stay consistent with my performance? And I know it sounds a little cliche, but honestly, like every day when I wake up, I'm like, okay, I got this. I really got to kill it today. So that's what gets me motivated.
Well, you are very inspiring.
Aww.
All of the Tamily, you are. And I love seeing all of your stories. I mean, I think the most valuable thing on earth.
Gabby, sorry.
Well, when we were watching you like work out on a roof in New York City, I'm not sure that there's anything cooler than that. But it's amazing to watch you. So we want to know what is a quote that inspires you, which obviously helps you to inspire us.
I have so many quotes. I'm sorry, I have to look at my computer. I'm a person that prepares. So here's one quote, and actually it might not make sense for a lot of people. So I'll do my best to explain it. No one cares about you as much as they care about themselves. So to me, personally, my whole family is on board with Tracy Anderson. Everybody knows what Tracy, everybody knows I'm going to do my workout. My family, my French family, my parents, my friends, the guy I used to date 4 years ago is like, what is this Tracy? Oh, this is my thing. Like, I have to take care of myself first. Like, to be a better mother, to be a good example to my child, so that he sees what dedication is. He already knows who Tracy is. Like, oh, that's Tracy. Mom's doing her Tracy. Like, mom's doing her exercise. Like, he knows this right now. And I think that discipline is something that you really have to work at, and also self-awareness and just self-care. So that's my first quote that I love. My second quote is, this isn't really a quote, but well, it has religious connotations, but you don't need to take it a religious way if you're not religious. God needs no faint hearts for his ambassadors. So don't come in there with that, like, I can't do this mentality, because there are people out there who are dealing with worse, who have less, who wish they could be doing what you're doing. So this is a gift. You know, you're paying for that gift too. So you might as well use it. So I honestly think that, you know, we're all in a place where we can talk to each other. We can do these like virtual Zoom chats. We can watch streaming with Tracy. We can afford it, but let's not waste it. Let's not like be let's not take advantage of the situation that we've been given, because it's truly a gift. And the last thing that I will say is not really a quote, but I think it's really important to follow and listen to a lot of positive women, because to me, and not just in like the fitness world, but in the all world, because you'll see a lot of things, and Tracy has started referencing this a lot too, like that Instagram feels fake, and that you see a lot of pretty pictures. You'll see, like, you know, celebrities. All of that is smoke and mirrors. You know, they have a million things that help them and filters that help them, you know. So you need to be inspired by true women who have discipline, who work hard every day. Suzanne, people like you are like, I'm doing this every day. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm finding someone for my interview. This is what I'm doing. Like, you really have to find those people who are inspirational in that regard. And I think those are sort of my mantras that I live by.
Absolutely. Those are perfect.
Tamily.
Kat, what would be your advice?
Has the best form of anyone.
That's true.
And I'm so jealous of her. So,
well, that could be a goal.
Sorry.
What would be your advice to someone that is new to the Tamily or new to the method?
My advice would be start with a goal. I remember when, after I had my son and I was doing Tracy's post-pregnancy workout, I fucking hated her. I was like, it is hard. Like, she thinks we're going to be doing these like 50 repetitions of leg. I just had a baby. Like, my butt hurts, my thigh hurts. Like, this is hard. But then what's weird, you'll do it one day and it's not as hard. And then you'll do it a week later and you're like, whoa, I actually got some energy from that. So my advice would be is to start with a goal of, I'm going to get through start and I'm going to finish it to the best of my ability. And my goal is to do this so that I can go fundamental. But remember, it's like one foot in front of the other. So don't rush it. One thing that I did in the beginning, and I don't know if other people do this or did this too, I used to be obsessed with watching when I was like stuck in fundamental. I used to, not stuck, but in my fundamental lane. I used to be obsessed with watching Attain. I would watch Attain and I'd be like, people put on heavier weights. Like, oh my God, like that is not going to be me. Like, I will never be an Attain girl. I'll always be fundamental. But I would watch it like every week. And I would be like, why am I watching it if I don't want to do it? You know what I mean? Like, why am I watching it if I'm not curious about it? Like, why am I watching people who do attain if that's not something that I want to work up to? So I think what also helped me was watching people at a more advanced level. Kind of like if you're, I mean, Tracy uses like athleticism and athletes in sports a lot in her vernacular. And I would say kind of like if you're on the JV team and you want to make varsity, like you watch those people play, or like you're in college basketball and you want to make it to the NBA, you're gonna watch LeBron play.
Mm-hmm.
So I think one, set a goal. Like I want to get through start. I want to get through start without feeling like it's, I'm gonna die. And then it's like maybe I would add watch other people and watch and see what they do, because there are people out there who have been doing Tracy's method for years and years and years and years. And we'll get into this too, but the reason why it sticks with you is because of that brain connection. Like to be able to flow through some moves and know when like to put your hands in certain places and know how to adjust your body. And there's like so many layers to it. It's crazy. It's really, really insane. So, but when you first start, I would say concentrate in your place, get really strong with being able to do that, but watch and see what like, the NFL players are doing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree with thinking about it that way, because this is really like becoming an elite athlete to be able
Totally,
to do this workout.
totally. I consider anyone who does Tracy Anderson's method a modern day athlete. Like there's not one time I have done attain and I have not like dead at the end. So like it is definitely, here's my sorry,
Henry.
sorry. But I will definitely say that part of my motivation in the beginning was seeing everyone dedicated their workout and their fitness journey to this method and how good they got. Like you're gonna get that good. Like don't think that you're not gonna get that good. There is no no. There is no no, I can't do this. You are gonna get that good. You're gonna get better than like people that you see streaming every day. Like you are gonna get that good. Don't tell yourself no. So
Right. Yeah, that's very important. Have you faced any challenges in doing the method?
um I would say in the beginning it was more of a personal challenge. Like my family was like, you're in a cult. Like you're in a cult and you need to be saved. Like all you talk about is Tracy all day long. All you do is watch people do workouts on Instagram all day long. They're like, you're in a fucking cult. And I was like, no, I feel amazing. Like, I feel high. I feel energized. I feel enlightened after I do these classes. This feels like a great thing. My family, like, she's got you working out for an hour every day. Like she's changing up her routines. First you needed, just ankle weights. Then you're doing all these weird headstands on a chair. You're going to break your neck. Like my mom especially was like, can't you just work out for 30 minutes? Like, yoga, like, whatever. Because people, if you don't do it, like, it does look very aggressive, and like everyone that does do it, we're all like watching each other and we become so immersed in it. So I could understand why they would think that we're in a cult, and maybe we are low key in a cult. I'm gonna just put it out there. Maybe we're low key cult,
Right.
but good cult vibes. Like, an amazing group of women. You will never find the smartest, most intelligent women like who are supportive and who, are there to give you advice. If you send them DMs, they respond to you, and it to me, it's just amazing. Like, I could have joined a better cult. Like, thank you. I'm proud. So I would say that was the hardest thing, is getting my family on board, because without that support system, you're going to have a lot of like, gosh, like, do you have to do Tracy right now? Like, we've got this and this to do. Or, well, you can't do Tracy, like, on vacation. Well, like, this and this and this and this and this. You've got to take that time for yourself every single, like, my whole family has given, I don't know, maybe they gave up, but like, they are all on board now. When I come, they've got rooms set up for me. They ask me, how's Tracy doing? Like, like, what's going on with the Tracy program? But that took some time, that really, really took some time. So.
Yeah, I think even just the concept that, Tracy's one of the only people in fitness that will say you have to work out every day for the rest of your life. That is like a concept that's tough for people to wrap their minds around. Like, people will say, that can be unhealthy, like working out every day, or like even 6 days a week. They'll think that that's too much. That's extreme exercise. And it's like, actually, it's healthy for you to do it.
It is healthy. And listen to your body. Like, honestly, if I felt sore, or if I felt pain, or if I was injured, I wouldn't do it. But I work out every single day, and I don't have any of those problems. And I feel like I'm getting stronger. I do take like a active recovery day, where I might just do like, I'm lying when I say that. I actually, like, I'm not, like, why am I lying? Like, I'll do like fundamental, and maybe I won't do like cardio or something like that. But my endurance level is really, really high, except if I'm going to do like Courtney arms. Because there's and that's another thing too. Like, every trainer has their thing. Like, Courtney's arms are crazy, killer, insane. We have been spared this year.
We have. Oh my gosh.
Because they will definitely kill you. But I'm not gonna lie. I'm really at a point right now where I don't probably take a rest day. And I'm okay with it. I'm obsessed. I'm okay with it. I'm okay.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. So we have a couple questions for you in the chat. These are going to
be sense of spicy questions. Like,
there's one there already. So first we'll start with Cassie. She said, how much extra cardio do you do on top of mat work, like dance, boxing, and bonus?
Well, one thing, I stopped the boxing.
Okay.
It was getting to be too much. Like, your brain can only do too much, and I wanted to get better with Tracy. That was my first priority, so I stopped with the boxing. But it's funny that you ask. I feel like this 12 days of cardio has forced myself into doing 30 minutes of cardio after class. However, in the studio, I will tell you, people do a full hour cardio and a full hour of muscular. And like, I still can't get to that level of endurance. So that when I say that I'm working on my endurance, I'm working because I'm watching women who are in the studio doing full hours of cardio in the heat and then doing the full hour of class. But for me right now, I probably do about 30 minutes of cardio 6 days a week. I probably take cardio off like once a day. And I will say, and I don't know if anybody else has noticed who has been doing the 12 days of cardio, I do feel like I have noticed a difference in my body these last few like cardio Christmas days, because they're not catapult. You really have to perform, like, to burn those calories. Like, you need to be able to do the dance and perform it. Like, if you've watched a trainer do catapult, it is not like, they are like flying across the room. I don't know the moves, so I can't perform. So I know that I'm not burning the calories that I should in doing catapult. But the 12 days of Christmas cardio feel more like a catalyst where you're halfway learning the dance, but you're also doing like agility and like jumping jack type of moves. So they're great to burn calories. I think that that idea was excellent.
Okay, that's a great point. Um, we have a question from Maggie. So this is a little bit of a game where she would like to know who you want to fuck, who you want to marry, and who you want to kill out of the chair, the pole, and the ball.
I was gonna say out of the trainers.
We're not gonna.
Can we do trainers? Who wants to do fuck, marry, kill out of the trainers?
Oh my god!
Like
kill a trainer.
Got 5 seconds. Fuck, marry, kill trainers or props? Like, all right, fine, props.
We're going with the props for now. Kat.
The pole is kill, because the pole with that back in your spine, like Tracy talks about, dancers have this thing where their spine is so flexible. Like if you've ever watched like a dancer, a ballet dancer, a modern ballet dancer, their backs can do this thing where they like can bend all the way back. Kim can do that too, which is why I'm fucking jealous of her. Like their backs are so moldable, and so they can get into those like long like moves. I am still working on that, and the pole forces you to move your back and your shoulders back and to have like a long neck. So right now, like my arms are really strong, and I can sometimes rely on my arms and my like shoulders to do the movements that my core and my spine should be doing. It's kind of hard to explain unless you're doing, because my custom is all, I feel like the last 2 customs have been pole work, but there's a part of your body where you should be using your core and using your spine to get into certain moves. And I have I sometimes rely on my shoulder weight instead as like a means to get through the move, you know, as a cheat. I would fuck the chair, because like the chair is so stripper vibes. It's so like Red Eagle, like leg over one thing, like, you know, like I love the chair. I love when Tracy does sexy moves on the chair. It's my favorite thing. Like, oh, you're gonna like swing your leg over and then go into a split. Like, hello, like thank you for teaching me these skills. If my husband ever dies, I need to marry like a rich man. Like I'm gonna bring out a chair and be like, hey babes, like come, let me show you my workout. Like I say I'm talking too much. Sorry. What's another? I guess so fuck, marry, kill. Marry. I guess I would marry my ankle weights, because you know your ankle weights. If you've ever done a tain, like when Tracy used to be doing a tain with the heavy weights a lot, if you've ever just said, I'm going to use the lighter ankle weights, and it's like, oh my God, like I'm free. But like you realize how much the ankle weights help you and add to like the workout, and are really helping you with your glute and like everything, your abs and your sides, everything like that. Yeah.
Okay. We have a much tamer question from Piper. She would like to know, do you do coffee and how do you take it?
Of course I do coffee. Who doesn't drink coffee? I hate non-coffee drinkers. I'm sorry to the non-coffee drinkers, but first, you need coffee, right? Like,
yeah, it's right here, right now.
I love my coffee with almond milk or oat milk. I'm such a New York person that way. And either with no sugar or like, sorry, Splenda. I know that's like so bad for you, but whatever. Or I'll do a latte with whole milk. Like, I mean, come on, we're burning like 1,000,000 calories. You can have
Yeah.
you don't have like a lactose. I am a slightly lactose intolerant, which is why I should not be drinking. Like, that's why I do the oat and almond milk. But I do crave some of that whole milk sometimes. So every now and then I'll have it. But my fancy French husband would be like, I want an espresso, just black,
Yeah.
just black.
Very
All
fancy.
that stuff. What is almond milk?
Okay, we'll go back to some of our planned questions while the rest of our creative Tammers type in the chat. What is something that you've learned from Tracy?
I have this written down, actually. I have this written down. Okay. There's no quick or easy, dirty way to get the body, or I would just put in a catch-all, the goals that you want. There's no easy, quick way to do it. That's why she shows up week after week. That's why we get class week after week. That's why they're an hour long. Like, you're not gonna get the goals that you see on TV with these like 5-minute routines. Like, you're just not gonna get it. I challenge everyone to listen. She did a podcast with Glossy, I believe, where she goes into this a little bit more. But, you know, it's really about that patience and knowing that this is a path you are walking down. All the trainers are dancers on purpose because obviously there's a lot of choreography that goes into the method, but also they have that mindset, that endurance mindset that they've got to get through like 4 hours of training and class every single effing day. It's not a quick, I did a spin class and I'm jumping out. Like, I just want you guys to know the trainers are fucking insane. They literally teach live classes, then they do private classes, then they teach another live class, then they do another private class, and they're going and they're going and they're going, and they're a huge source of inspiration to me because I have never had a trainer in a virtual like session or even in a class in the studio give the appearance of being tired or slacking or like not having a performance like grace to them. And I'm like, how did you just do like 2 attains and 2 fundamentals and you're about to do another fundamental? Can you imagine like if they can do it? And like, I should be able to do like I should be able to wake up and carve out this time. And so it's not going to happen overnight. I'm not going to be a trainer because I don't think I'll ever be able to get to that type of endurance level. But I do want to be able to incorporate and just have that mind-body connection with the corrections that they give me. Because there is a point where I will say that your body will start to remember from muscle memory, like certain angles that you should hit or certain ways that you should do certain moves. But that comes with doing it every single day. So again, the road is long, just one foot in front of the other if you want to look like Tracy or have her mentality even, you know, because I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah. We have another question from Piper. She said, which studio is your favorite to take a class?
Ooh, this is going to be a spicy answer. You guys are bringing the spice. So I'm going to bring spice to you, okay? So Tribeca, I didn't know this, but Tribeca, 59th is a flagship. And sorry, Courtney, don't take this the wrong way. But I feel like Tribeca, people are kind of like competitive there, low key. Like, it's my favorite studio because, as I said, Teresa started teaching there. So people were like aggressively trying to get in her class. Like, you see the most like Real Housewives shit happen there. Like, it's the most entertaining for me and also challenging because, you know, you could take a class with Laura. And she's like, well, I'm from LA, and in LA we like it hot, so deal with it. And it's just like super hot, you know what I mean? So I like Tribeca because you never know what you're gonna get. I will say the hottest studio is definitely the LA Studio City studio. Like,
Okay.
something's wrong with their temperature fluctuation, but I couldn't make it through a fundamental class in there.
Oh
I
my gosh.
die. So, okay, Courtney, yes, I forgot you started Tribeca. So she knows. I will just say the vibe in Tribeca is a little more like they will fight you for a mat versus like maybe at 59th it's a little low key.
Oh, that's so we do have a spicy question for you from Sintra. She would like you to tell us a funny dating story that you haven't shared previously. We love your dating stories.
Okay, a funny dating story.
I think that's how I started following you.
Won't get me.
I'm
I'm trying to thinking. I'm trying to think of one that won't get me in trouble. Okay, so one night I did. Okay, first let me just say, anybody that's single, I want you to be on a dating app and please date for me. Like, I love dating and I love dating on dating apps. And I know all of you are like, oh, it's so awful. And all the guys are awful. Like, use it for the experience. Like, see how crazy and messed up these people are. Like, laugh about it with your girlfriends. Like, that's how I took it. Okay, but one time I met this guy, and and this is when I lived in DC. And it was like some sort of event where it's like open bar. So already we're starting off on like in a bad place. And it was open bar, only vodka. So
oh,
I met this guy and he's like, yeah, this is my bar. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, yeah, so let's just like get to know each other. We're talking. And he's like, so you want to come upstairs? And I was like, okay, but just to talk. Okay, I promise. He's like, just to talk. So we go upstairs, we're talking, and I notice all of these like bikes on his wall, like hung up. You know how people like mount their bikes? And I was like, oh, are you into biking? He's like, no, I'm actually a bike messenger, but I didn't want you to know that because I didn't think that you would be interested in me. I was like, I don't judge. Like, you know, you're a cool guy. Like, whatever. And he's like, well, there's something else I have to tell you. And I was like, well, what is it? And he's like, well, I know we're not being intimate, but I have to be upfront with every woman that I tell. He's like, I don't have any balls. So I was like, okay, like did something happen? Like in my mind, I know all of you are like, what the hell is going on? But literally, he's like, yeah, I don't have any balls. Sometimes this is a problem for women. I have all of my sperm like saved in like the sperm bank and whatever, but I just have to be upfront with you. I don't want you to like fall in love with me and find out later that I have no balls. Anyway, I felt awkward at that point because I feel like that's not something you bring up on the first date. Mm-hmm. I think maybe you ease it in third date, second date, but not on the first date. There are a lot of men that like to do this. They like to surprise you with weird shit on the first date. Mm-hmm. Those are the guys you have to stay away from. So anyway, I said, okay, well, let me just get through this and go home. But then I was like, I was wasted out of my mind. So he said, well, if you're going to go home, I need to sleep in my bed, but you can sleep in the closet. I kid you not. He's like, you can sleep in the closet because I'm not going to like him that night. So he ended up being a jerk. So I had a choice. Like, this was back before like Uber and all of that stuff. So I had to take the L. I slept in his closet and I woke up the next day, but I got him back. You know what I did?
What?
I went in his bathroom, all his shampoo, poured it down the train. I got that, like, whatever that soap, like, whatever soap I could find, like, cleaning detergent. And I put it in his shampoo bottle and I walked the fuck out of there. So, yeah, I know.
Kat, you are crazy. I'm really glad that the closet opened in the middle.
I know, I know, I know, I know.
Yeah. So if people are going to date on dating apps, probably take an Uber. And
Well,
don't.
I mean, it's so different now. Like, I feel like it's so different. Like, there's Uber, and like everything we do is like virtual. Even people meeting online right now, they're having their first dates over
Yeah.
Zoom. But I will say, like, I love dating. I find dating I have these horror stories, but just meeting people who are more messed up than you just makes you realize, like, I was raised right. Like, I'm not crazy. Like, I'm normal. Like, sometimes you just need that validation. And I promise you, going on those dates will give you all the validation that you need. So,
That makes sense. I love hearing your insights about that. So now we're down to only 8 minutes.
okay.
Choosy about our next question. And of course, anyone with other questions, type them
Spicy. Spicy.
What Tam move did you used to hate that you now love?
Oh, anything with planks. Anything with planks.
Do you love it now though?
It's not that I love them. I know how to do them properly. Even when I would get corrected, I still, like, for some reason, and I don't know if other people have this, when I start doing the plank, like Tracy does a plank move, I think in this attain, I start sweating profusely. So hard. It's like, it's a hard move when you start to really sweat and feel like, get me out of this. But I have learned to use my core in a certain way where it doesn't feel as killer as it used to. And you get stronger. Like, the more that you do, like, the method, the stronger you get and the easier you can do certain moves. But I fucking hate playing. You know what else I hate? I hate when we have to do, I will never forget. I'm so glad Courtney is on there. There was a time she was cueing Tracy, and it was like the whole leg series involved some sort of arm, like the arm was involved. For instance, in mental, we have a lot of like weight, arm, leg. I hate using the weight and being on my 4 knees. Like, I hate it. I feel like it's so hard. I will never forget, there was a time Courtney did a class, she cued a class. That's when we were using 5-pound weights. And every move was like, pick up this 5-pound weight. Let's pick up this 5-pound weight again. Let's use this 5-pound weight. And like, so I have to swallow, like, whenever we use our like arm weights and we're on the mat.
Yeah.
I prefer not to be using, because it makes it harder, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. But I would rather have like 3 leg weights on than use the arm weight with like.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
How do you feel immediately following a workout?
I have an orgasm. Like, no, seriously, like, after a really hard one, like, I feel like, oh, that feels so good. Like, it feels, my whole body feels detoxed. My brain feels detoxed. Like, I feel there's like clean inside. It's hard to describe, but I really have the endorphins going. And anybody that's ever had that runner's high, it's very similar to how I feel after a workout. I feel on the fucking moon. The dread is getting ready. Like, I don't know if there's for some reason, I guess because I'm old and our bed is like bad. Like, in the morning, getting out of bed, I feel creaky. Like I feel that's like when I'm at my worst. I feel like I feel creaky, like it's cold, it's winter, it's dark outside, like my son might have woke me up. And like it's still, even for me, it's still I always have that question. Do I need to do this today? That question is always going to creep in. Do I need to do this today? Is today, I earned a rest day. Do I need to do this? But then I move forward, and it's worth it.
Knowing that, because
yes,
you look like you could just do it every day, and it's not like a thought. But it's good to know that.
No, like seriously, I think every single person has in the back of their mind, maybe it's softer or maybe it's louder for some people. Do I need to do this today? You know what I mean? But then your will and your strength that says, yeah, I'm going to do this today. Like, fuck yeah, I'm doing this today. Let's get it. You know what I mean? And I think if you have problems with that, you need to find, personally for me, I watch videos of other athletes outside of Tracy Anderson to get inspired by them.
Yeah.
And it's not because you guys don't get that inspiration. It's because a lot of the method is silent. So we just have like music and all of that. But a lot of athletes, like when they finish something hard, they're like, yes, or they go, ooh, like, you know, and so those cues sometimes can get me motivated. I think watching people who are true athletes, I think Tracy probably watches a lot of them. She's always referencing athletes and what they can do, is also very inspirational. So
yeah, and I think feeling like that competitive spirit, because
yeah,
don't feel that by yourself, but and I think that's the way Tracy also like wants you to think. You're performing in a sport, and that can be, you know, really motivating.
Suzanne, you have to interview. I know you did Courtney, but you've got to get another trainer on here.
Okay.
Interview them about the performance aspect, because even that is something I struggle with, and that can take you to the next level. That's really leveling up. Because again, when I see the trainers perform, I still even have a block in my mind, like I'm never going to be able to do that, you know? So I think we all need to understand, what does it take to have that performance mentality, you know?
Yeah.
Something I can't explain because I'm not a performer yet. You know, I think I'm getting there with the muscular part, but even to have it both the cardio and the dance works, it's super important.
Well, we will definitely ask some trainers to be interviewed in 2021.
Woo!
Well, Kat, this has been a super fun interview, but we have 1 minute left.
Yes.
So, what would you like to say to the Tamily while you have this audience?
Mommy. I just want to tell everyone that I love them. And let's do fuck, marry, kill again. But this time I'm going to do it with everybody, like people that you guys know.
Boo!
She would be on my fuck list. She's got an amazing body. She's beautiful. Which trainer would I marry? I would definitely marry you, Courtney, because honestly, it's either marry or kill. Courtney, I'm switching to kill, because sometimes Courtney will like watching people do the arm moves, and if she's like, you can see in her eyes, she wants to kill us. So Courtney, sorry, like I know you want to kill us because you're so much stronger than us. And then marry, who would I marry? Gosh, I think I would marry all the other trainers.
Aww.
I love all of them. They're so great. They all bring a different spirit and guidance to the table. And just for the entire Tamily to know, like, you guys are so supportive. You know, we're all lifting each other. We have gotten each other out of this horrific year. Let's all be kind to each other. Let's be stronger for 2021. And, you know, we got this. Like, can you imagine what Tracy's going to do to us next year? Like, we need to get ready, because it's probably going to be some like crazy stuff coming up. So I just want to say I love everybody and everybody that DMs me and asks for advice. And I mean, sometimes I don't respond because I don't know what advice to give, because I'm not a trainer. But you know, I want to make as many friends with you as within the community as possible, because I love all of you. And then maybe hopefully one day we can do our meetup, because we've done meetups and meetups are great. If you ever can do a meetup, like I know Vitality Week was on the table with Suzanne, like those meetups that we do are amazing as well. So, you know, if you have the opportunity to meet other like people in the Tamily in person, do it. It's amazing.
It is.
And support each other. Support each other.
That's an excellent message for our last interview of 2020. Thank you, Kat.
And drink champagne.
Yes.
And get on Tinder or Grindr or Happen. Yeah.
Well, thank you for all of the workout and life advice and dating advice that you've given us today, Kat. Okay. We really appreciate your inspiration, and Happy New Year, Tamily.
Happy New Year. Bye, guys.
Bye.